was talking a lot about NRG and destroying Leviathan, but Cloud9 have also overcome a lot of those choking issues that they were having.
Yeah.
The comebacks that we've been seeing on some of the maps that they've played have been astonishing. Their finish in the most recent game they had with Net winning a 1v2 in the final round of Icebox was amazing stuff. And we'll touch on map pools, comps, all of that kind of stuff. Interesting to note that Cloud9, though, are already making a shift. I feel like that has been something that defined them in playoffs, is being willing to take the risk. And again, they take another risk by shifting this composition, taking Oxy from Jet to Neon, and Zeppa from Killjoy over to Vice.
A bit more stall available to them. Slow and steady is the beginning for NRG. It's a team where attack side rounds occasionally on certain maps they've been struggling to get the calling going, but Haven, not really one of them.
I mean, it's not a map where they're fantastic on the attack side, but it is one of their better maps.
Grouping up now for a potential chance to pop into B. This is a crossfire setup, though, if I've ever seen one. Dart sails into the back. Not clearing these players, though. Step forwards, and Cloud9! They strike first and strike hard while they're at it. Two players immediately dropped. Stray shots fired off. Ethan, he's hoping to collect a cheeky kill in through the smoke, but immediately retreating.
It's going to be a difficult one here for NRG to navigate in a 3v5. Great anticipation from Cloud9. Two players stacked over towards the B site, and A, as you can see, has just got so much util on it.
Yeah, filled up. I mean, listen, Sheer, the Thorns, whole lot of stuff to get through here, and Zeppa's just waiting for the right time to dead it all, and there it is. Wall goes up, so do the Thorns, and the Paranoia just on top. That is picture perfect, perfection to open. And what an important pistol round it is.
And an amazing start from Oxy too. There's a player that was on fire during the group stage, tearing teams apart. First kills left, right, and center. A phenom. Haven't quite seen it in playoffs though. He's been quieter. And I think in this game, I'm favoring NRG in general based on what I've seen, but I think there's a couple of players that could turn the tide for Cloud9, and one of them is Oxy. If Oxy has a game, it could be so different to even what we've seen from C9 so far, because it's been a team effort for Cloud9.
Definitely been holding their own against strong opponents, even with Oxy not putting up the numbers.
So imagine a game where Oxy drops, 20, 30, something like that. I feel like that is going to make a huge difference.
I think a lot of it is Cloud9 evolving as a team. They've been trying to add a bit more nuance to it, and it means that Oxy isn't necessarily leading the charge as often.
Yeah,
he has to kind of shorten the leash almost in terms of how he can play as a player. He's having to relearn the limits.
He's also just getting a lot more first deaths in playoffs so far. I think he's just been punished a bit. Maybe coming into these games a little cold, but man, 4K on the pistol is going to heat him up immediately. The other player, of course, to keep your attention on, if you're looking for C9 heroes to step up, Zeppa, who the desk mentioned, had... Is it a life game if you have two of them? If you literally play like that every time you play against NRG? But the two matches that we saw Cloud9 play against NRG this year, in VCT, Zeppa stepped up and was the reason that they won.
He's lying in wait here with that arrow. One more bullet and he leaves it to spare. Takes down two of them handedly. Brock left alone just with the classic, and Weaken still doing a decent amount of damage here. Just chipping away at the Cloud9 players, but they take this fight together and intact with three of them at least, keeping those guns flowing into the next.
Haven's a map where we've seen Cloud9 have a couple of struggles on the defense side. The defense in general has not looked particularly good on this map, but adding the Vice in here, I think will do a lot to bolster that. And I think that they kind of fixed it in the match that we saw against 100 Thieves. C9 were not playing quite as passively on the defense side, and they're making the right stacks. But here you're looking at a pretty classic setup for C9. You don't see them explore down mid too often. They're leaving C pretty open, not expecting NRG to be back here.
Vic's one of the danger players, has that rifle.
And this spot, Omen one way up, on top of default, and he's peeking around the side.
There it is, straight into the crosshair. Placement was good from Vic, being spammed down though. Still alive, still kicking, 51 health to play with.
Gotta go.
And these are the spots where Ethan is seriously going to get tested, similar to the pistol. How do you call when the opening engagement has not gone your way?
Toxin screen down.
Ping onto the side, does Som realize that Net's already there?
He's certainly suspicious, even if he doesn't know for sure.
A deep smoke onto A long, just so that they can lurk their way up. Still haven't cleared out that short space, missing timing.
Know. They can't know.
No. But Net also not hearing anything, so not really calling for a mass rotation. Just Oxy. Taking peeks himself. He's got that bulldog. Wall's going to be pulled out now.
And this is actually pulling Oxy away from A. Worried about B.
But there it is. Util flies forward. That's going to be spoiling the surprise. Net, though, could be catching. There it is. Third shot.
30 seconds
Does
left.
the job. Looks like a charm. Oxy's looking to see if he can take a timing of himself. And, well, just here's a TP thinking twice against it. Cloud9 just looking to contain. Zephyr just jiggling. NRG really pushing their luck. Just trying to overextend to see if they can turn the tide of this fight. Maybe damage done still. Oh, Som, rifle in hand. He's going to hold this one down, but a paranoia. It's good. Snakebite offloaded, but now he's going to be shot from afar. Zephyr instantly removes him. It's a 1v3 for Ethan. The IGL has got to try and do it all. But it's too much to overcome. A bonus round conversion. Cloud9 off to the strongest start imaginable.
So many gaps there that NRG just let through their play. First of all, Vic on top of C. Really nice angle, one that you see him play quite a lot. And he gets him the opener, but in a 4v5, leaving short and maybe not even coming that properly by the look of it to Scuba, because Scuba's running out there with utility in his hands. And then the rest of the NRG players in a post plan, forced to try to make a play to equalize the numbers.
Let's go!
What an opening. What an opening for C9.
It's massive for them, the half armor, and the Sting is scrubbing together. Some danger here with a half buy for NRG, but they're going to be meeting that outlaw again. Oxy just been hanging on to it, holding on to it. He knows the value he can get with it. And already, first kills are just through the roof right now for Cloud9. Consistently in these rounds.
Completely true. And guess what? The rest might be soon to follow, because all of these players are on light armor. So it's not like there's going to be too much resistance, and Vic has just wandered through another gap. Another big gap in what NRG were doing. The slower pace to NRG's rounds, I'm not a fan of. It's something that we were talking about at the very beginning of Stage 2, being a weakness for them.
Sure.
And I thought Bonkar and Ethan had actually done an amazing job of coming up with really good game plans to rip, 140 on the round, barriers come down, and they've got a fast game plan a lot of the time here to activate.
Revealed up here by the Recon. Net is just spamming away, even from the high ground, though. There it is, an instant response in itself, picks up the upgrade. And he's alone, though. Open sightlines, Oxy's happy to just snap him up. 4-0 now. All that talk, really, as well, about the attack side. Rounds calling. I mean, there's some similarities in terms of these teams as well. Cloud9 have also been trying to, over the course of Stage 2, evolve their own game.
Yep.
Not just the heavy-hitting, fast-paced gameplay that we're used to seeing from them in the past. They've been trying to add and insert that nuance. It's not been without weak spots.
It worked. It worked just like practice. It worked.
I mean, there's something that Cloud9 have been looking to try to get for years, is for their match results, especially in playoffs, to look like they do in practice. To go on what you're saying, though, yeah, I think there's really interesting similarities and contrasts to call between the two IGLs, because I think Bonkar has really done a good job at speeding up Ethan's calling and giving him really good tactics, site execs, ways of being able to condition the opponents, usually quite quick in their attack rounds, at least the ones that work. Whereas Cloud9 already had that, like they already were pretty good with that kind of stuff. And now Mitch is really focused with Imi on slowing down the mid-round and making the right call, the right audible on their attack. Another thing that I really like, you saw that push down to C long from Vic. They weren't doing that a couple weeks back. If you watched Cloud9 on Haven from a few weeks ago, they were so passive. They were never taking a risk like that. So maybe that's what Oxy's referring to when he says it works just like in Prac. They put a little bit of pressure down and suddenly NRG are popping on B.
Pace increase could be exactly what NRG needs. Backside of this timeout, I'm sure they've been discussing the ideas. They don't have a ton of ults to really use other than Ethan's.
But look at this disruptive play from Cloud9. Themselves taking a little bit of a wander down mid, breaking the turret immediately. Once more, not so passive from Cloud9. They're going to put the pressure on NRG.
You're going to be hearing a few scurrier footsteps in through A lobby.
Placing swarm grenade.
And swarms up and overhead here. There's going to be sending it all flying forwards to see if they can take this A side by storm. They do have to still contend with Zephyr. Up onto the high ground. He's going to be playing his life in this spot. He has his ult for the retake. Steel Garden. Critical for Cloud9. So what's the next stage here for NRG? They can't just sit onto the site.
I wonder if Ethan can avoid it. Is he enough of a nutcase to use his Omen ult to avoid that?
Maybe can find the right window. All grouping up and gathering up though. Cloud9 already There it is, let loose here with a Steel Garden. Paranoia sweeps forward, straight out from the top. It's a shorty out into his hands, overdrive for Oxy. It's a galvanizing opener. Cracks the defense, and the whole of NRG just crumbles.
I don't really see a counter plan there from NRG. And C9 on their feet, popping off immediately.
Yeah.
That's an ult snowball, of course it is, but it's also just such a difference in terms of preparation too. C9 knew exactly how they wanted to play that defense round. If they were going over towards A, there's not going to be any pressure, and then they've got full mid information, big ult to retake, and Mitch, he's like, well, what was your game plan there, guys?
Exactly.
How did you think you were going to win that one? Oxy pulls out the operator here as well. He's talking about Mada using the op crutch. Oxy doesn't actually run it a huge amount, but we'll see it here from him. 11 and 2 already. Man, he's on fire.
Booming, he is on fire. Just when we were talking about him turning up potentially for a Mada, it's not messing around. It's already forwards again, just trying to square up for that fight against Mitch. Takes a few bullets to the chest. In the process, drop down relatively low, where the rest of NRG look to work towards Garage. To pull out some of these crucial pieces of util. Thorns deaded, reveal onto it. That's going to be a TP to evacuate Vic. He avoids most of it. The ire at his Hunter's Fury, not going to be fighting him just for that stray tag, but still alive.
The Vice utility from Zeppa is so good at delaying. You saw it there on the A hit, and here again in Garage. It's just snarling up NRG.
And now making moves towards it, though, is not hiding their intent. They're just moving it full steam ahead. Straight through, they got this wall to contend with. The snake bite! And Net drifting and weaving in and out, just buying and sowing that chaos for his team to capitalize off. Cloud9 up by 2 players. Now NRG are the ones that have to find a way through this spot. Waiting for the orb timing, Fuel back online to cut out these angles with a flash into your face, and then still inserted in through the back, and shots fired. Tom hits it, but again can't contest the rest. 6 and 0 right now, Cloud9. Just steamrolling NRG.
Completely and utterly in control. Mada's sat on a goose egg. You're attacking star player. 0 kills to Oxy's 12. And to some degree, that is just going to be based on which side of the map they're on. Because I think if NRG started defense here, you might be seeing something maybe similar. Because
sure.
NRG are insanely good on defense sides. But here you're getting the weaker side of the map for NRG, and a Cloud9 that's tweaked their comp and is looking nice here.
Hearing a lot of pressure, but not anticipating that position. Still, the reveal's good. Oxy, there's no way he's getting out of there, man. Lit up, saved by the stun. That fire over the shoulder. Mitch is ready to defend.
NRG have ults in this round. Not great weaponry and down a player.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking to save him for round 8, which is just brutal.
Just one step ahead, though. They see the lockdown. They're like, okay, well, we're going to fight heavy for A short. Ensure that you can't use it for a hit into A.
And I do think that some of NRG's calling has been, you know, pretty simplistic, revolving around ultimates and wherever they make noise at the beginning of round, generally they're going there. But Ethan and Bonkar have done a good job at layering it with fakes on a lot of their maps. Right now, C9 completely getting the read.
Net.
This is a risk.
It is a risk. He's asserting himself here. If he wins this fight versus Brock, which he does, now this is it. A pincer to trap this laid out, and NRG realize they've got no other options. Spike's dropped down, Ethan with an ult to maintain and retrieve it. Still, he's going to square up anyway, to try and take that fight with posturing into the fight. In the battle, these bullets just barely missing the mark off Scuba's life. He's able to scurry away.
But he only has a bulldog, no armor, so might as well attempt to do damage to what is otherwise an insanely good economy from C9. I mean, is it even going to matter? I can't imagine it. C9 so in control of this game, always a step ahead. NRG finally now in round 8, the one coming up, will be able to use some ultimates, you got to imagine. This could be their chance at trying to recover the half, but at the moment, nothing is going their way. Absolutely nothing. I mean, every first kill, it feels like, going the way of Cloud9. The fast hit's getting stalled by all of the Vice utility.
I practiced that up angle so much, he just ran into me, bro. Oxy
2 was talking about the fact that he thought one of the reasons that they've been doing so many comebacks recently in this playoff is because they're starting nervously, because they're starting cold. Now, that isn't really the way that I was viewing things. I thought C9 actually had just picked up the energy enormously towards the end of their matches in this playoffs, and I was ready to give them a lot of credit for the growth and the grit in terms of shaking off that playoffs choking curse. But, you know, the read from inside the team feels like it was more, we keep starting a bit slow.
Yeah, we're never playing up to our potential at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, holy, 7-0 beginning here. You could not start any hotter. 13-2 for Oxy.
Insanely strong start. And that second timeout pulled out of NRG. This is desperation now. Anything to get some rounds on the board, because as good as NRG's defense is on most maps, you do need some rounds on attack.
Yeah.
You've got to build up some level of buffer.
I mean, Mitch has got 1 kill. He's controlling C9 like the mouse from Ratatouille. He's underneath Oxy's hat, just controlling the team, getting
Cooking up masterpieces.
Yeah.
Now Oxy again might be getting a bit of action once more, just misses the reaction shot onto the jump spot. Oxy looking for the right time to disengage, but
he's so confident, he just gets straight back on the line. You haven't actually gained much there at all.
Mitch way ahead of most of this one. His bullets going into the body of Som, still alive though.
And if you try to accelerate here onto A, there's 2 players, Thorns, and then suddenly Zephyr will be there as well. So this is still going to be tough for NRG.
A lot of pressure. Mitch out in the open there as that smoke was dissipating, but he's spotting all these players of NRG, really.
That's 2 opportunities now where NRG could have tried to punish Mitch, and he's gotten away with it.
Here it is. Pressure on every single front. Cloud9 are looking to hard anchor this spot. They have players that are ready in position. That stun is beautiful though. Paranoia sweeps forward. Mitch has to respond. Double with the flashes. The Paranoia on top as well, but biding their time, tempered for a moment. The smoke just really dropped into the faces. Brook does not care about it, disrespecting it. Ults, use and expended, and Som is holding for that push. Expecting there was a play to be made.
Welcome to my
Hit drop down as well into that post just for good measure. Oxy wants to send this one forward to the no-scope! Oh, goodness. When you got the money flowing like that, why not take every chance you could get?
Could have been a little bit better if he'd done that with the shorty perhaps, but NRG get their first round on the board. And yet that one, I feel, comes mostly down to the ultimates that they have in play. A couple of nice shots hit there by Brock as well with the Bulldog from short. But I like the anti-plan from C9 again. It's the same thing you were talking about previously, Brent. They know that the lockdown is there, so they fight heavy for short, which is great. And then in a 4v2, NRG are still so shook, they have to use Pit.
Yeah.
So there's silver linings all over the place for Cloud9. I don't think he should have his head in his hands particularly. Attacking operator coming out from Mada. It was Oxy that said it. They're an op crutch team, but normally Mada doesn't pull it out on the attack particularly. He's still sat on a goose egg though.
Yeah, it's a rough one for Mada. Talking about the comparison, I mean, Mada's the one who's been lights out in most of their matches recently. Oxy the one floundering, but
yeah,
roles have been reversed for the beginning here. And that was a chance, a real opener potentially for Mada to just erase that 0, but
the thing is, when you look at the stats though, Mada is getting almost all of his incredible fragging done on the defense side. On attack, his fragging does drop off like quite significantly. Part of that is because NRG in general have been struggling a bit more on this side of the map, but Oxy is a true entry player, whereas Mada's more comfortable on defense.
Takes down the drone. Tank to the chest though, forces Oxy to retreat, pull back. Slower play here by NRG. Now Mada does have his overdrive so he can speed this up. It's not going to be left to entry just with that operator. Ult into the back, gets information. Stun's going to be ricocheting now to Snake Bite to try and stop the advance. Pushing him back against Scuba. Here it is, a chance for him as well. He's going to be hearing these sound cues and looking to strike as well from the side. NRG, they have that front side control. The wall is a problem, and Ethan wants to deal with it anyway. Dishing it out against these players. NRG have control of this one, and they just lie in wait. Mada, another missed shot. It's giving Cloud9 openings and chances to get back into this. Where are they going? 15 seconds remaining. Scuba has control of B, but this is tumultuous at best. Alarm bot triggers and reveals it. Scuba knows that there's that area, but the plant is down now for NRG. Get that safety net. Brock misses his timing. Bullets to the back here, but Zep's still alive. 3v4. Scattering it around here. There's a lot of chaos in the moment that NRG are just trying to play towards.
And NRG slowing things down here, actually managing to evacuate, but Scuba gets caught and Brock is so far away.
Now this all comes down to this here with the smoke, obfuscating it to tap to try and force these players out. Brock is just trying to drift in from the side, help them all the way out. Orb up, propped up. Dart rebounds. Time is still ticking here. It has been pulled out, and this is agony right now for Cloud9. NRG doing the most of what they've got. And surely it's enough. No more time for the defuse.
Even a round like this, though, which is the second that NRG have got onto the board, is a Pyrrhic victory, I feel. Like, look at what's happened to their economy here. It's taken a massive hit. But, okay, they can still buy. Mada is still not finding any value on the entries. Didn't scale fast off the initial stun that he had. Missed an op shot, like Brock whiffing as well. I'm worried when NRG are winning rounds like this. It's, you know, golf claps from the coaching booth, but I think he'd be wanting more. NRG have a chance of recovering the half.
It begins.
But they're going to need to bring a bit more passion, a bit more fire.
Cover going out.
He's taking absolutely everything here with the smoke up. There was a chance of the timing again. Mada finally gets his one.
It's his first.
Just spam through that smoke. A stray shot, missed out. In through the wall, Mada. An immediate answer back. In through the back of the side, Zephyr is there. And that's still Garden, my God, is offloading all sorts of bullets. Trying to help and assist the rest of the team. They've been pushed into the corners, and there's a shorty for you. Spoils the surprise. Zephyr still alive and kicking. Still a menace, but some will shut him down. So, quick with the tempo. NRG speeded up to get that third.
Way faster. Super decisive from Mada on the entry. First round where it feels like he's properly sent it in. Not worrying about his KD, and it actually ends up paying off for him. He gets to, crosses up those players on the entry, and some remarkable that he's able to get out and get two from this. Even gets the reload of the shorty. And C9 were so frantic at following up on the Steel Garden. A shake of the head, Som knows that that was chaos. But NRG are scrapping back into this one. 3 in a row.
Dragging it back. Very aggro line here when the weaker weaponry in the hands of Vic is a paranoia that's already going to be used. Stack of players as well. Cloud9 have got bodies ready to respond.
Oxy, though, with a deep position over towards A. You know, Mitch is pretty fine defending B with a Vice Wall, so this triple stack can just stay on C currently. And this is where I worry about Ethan's calling a little bit, because if you're not doing something fast, he does tend to run it into the strong sites quite a lot.
There's Cut Noise attempted to re-push back in. Net slows it down once more with that snake bite.
Hard sending it, though. Potentially off the back of a Hunter's Fury here. Could still work.
Just trying to Cut Noise re-hit it again.
Yeah, they have stun.
Down with a stun. That's going to be dealt with, though. That Hunter's Fury, though, should at least pave the way, hopefully, to some level of success. Net is sidestepping, dodging, juking. Vic even getting the one. It's returned, though, with that trade. And here's spraying down these players. They're isolated. NRG left alone. No more backup, no more help arriving. Scuba's going to be late to the scene of the crime. And Cloud9 stop that momentum that NRG were getting under themselves.
A half-buy round. And I think demonstrating some serious gaps there with Ethan's calling. Maybe NRG just coming out a little shaky here today for whatever reason. Not sure why, but we're seeing the same errors that were floating early on in stage 2. And I thought that they were past them. But re-hitting there into 3 players that's tough. That was a Cloud9 on a half-buy as well. And so best case scenario for NRG is an 8-4 half, which I think indicates how one-sided this has been. C9 pretty much in control. Net almost got a fight there against Mada to start the round.
It's a shallow peek, just looking to contain in case anybody moves up into the corner.
There.
In almost all of these rounds, Cloud9 have had somebody on an aggressive line, whether it's, you know, Vic currently looking down C long, or whether it's Oxy posted up close over towards A lobby. And the Seekers as well, just giving them even more of that information that nobody is past A lobby. They know that Som is not in an aggressive position right now.
Plays all the way through that minute mark. NRG now grouping for a re-clear. Just in case someone is pushed off the back of the Seeker space.
Scout destroyed.
They're so confident that this is ending A.
Yeah.
It's another great read. It's another great read, but it's also NRG not putting pressure anywhere other than where they're going.
These Thorns as well. Similar setup that we've seen before, but
How do you get through this?
it's just deadly. deadly to get through. Smokes are going to be popped up here. Stun ricochets off towards the back, but that Thorns did it off nice and early. Anchor Smoke as well to play around that dart. Just as slight as it reveals a flash forwards. Mitch trying to take the fight towards him. NRG, they're making him hurt for it. They're making him hurt bad. They dismantle that anchor setup. Find the right timings and lay claim to that site.
That's not where Vic wanted the smoke to go, but he might have an opportunity. Brooks jumping into the open.
Out into the open. It's a 2v5 situation, now turning that 2v4. Paranoia is good, Ethan does respond though, TP up towards the top. It's all contained in the end. NRG find that 4th round, and that could be absolutely everything as they look towards that second half.
The core league did not make it easy for them there, pushing into double Thorns and a triple stacked site on A. But NRG brute force their way through, forcing out those Thorns and then getting a big entry from Mada. Mada and Som, in the rounds that they won, came up huge for them on the A side, but there weren't that many rounds that they managed to take away in general. That is a great defense half for C9 with a brand new comp here on Haven.
Let's see who can really lay claim as well into that second half. When the narratives swap around, we see each side as well, and NRG will be on their favored one of defense.
Game changers.
We're making history.
It means so much to us.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are, but as long as I'm good enough, I can go as far as I want.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
Red Bull gives you wings.
Pistol rounds have been defining, really, throughout most of Valorant's history. I mean, I don't think that's a hot take, is it? But in this one, it is especially important here for NRG. They've got that 4-round buffer, and that's really just a bit of breathing room to work with. But, you know, Oxy and the rest of the C9 crew have been making notes, really, talking about how NRG, they're so reliant on getting that economy going, getting that early lead with the pistol rounds, building up the bank so they can purchase the operators, the Odins, and really relying on those sort of things. So we'll see. Putting a lot of stress onto this opening for round 13.
And you look at where C9 appear to be headed. It's towards Scuba on C. He is alone currently.
And there it is. Shots popped off here by Scuba. Hello, that's a TP. Not really what he was expecting. Scuba, he just stands his ground, decimates 2 of them.
That's not where the teleport was supposed to go for Vic. That's a big mistake.
Potentially body blocked by Cloud9 looking to get active. Paranoia's already sweeping past and around here, but the wall's going to be triggered. Off to the side, these players are being squeezed. Multiple directions here, but way out into the open. Som was ahead. Most of his team, there's no trade in sight. Pulling back now. It's more passive positions, but Ethan's going to be onto this one here with the smoke to obfuscate, hiding most of this one. It is how Ethan swings out, but can't claim the life of Net. Could have been a chance for him with how far away Zeppa was from that fight, but in the end, it is Cloud9's win.
Double pistol here on NRG's map pick, which again does damage to the economy, allows them to snowball like they did in the first half. Such a great beginning to this match. And that, despite the fact that it started with a 3v5. But they play fully for Garage in the post-match, which is really unusual. Catches NRG.
Nice, baby! Let's go, baby!
Mada pushed out A and was just at a loss. He was like, where is everybody? NRG are going to walk down mid to try to get a flank retake going on A, but the weaponry is not here. They're not going for the force buy.
Whole lot of pressure coming towards Rourke. Right now, he's only got the shorty in his hands. Might be able to just get the one. He missed the timing on it. These walls are just propped up into their faces. Mitch immediately supplementing the gaps on the flank.
And everybody else on C9 going back to cover it too. I mean, phenomenal awareness. You just don't hear anything towards CT or Heaven.
Tenuous. TP pass though, just trying to make the most of this one. Scuba! Scuba! Where's he pull that one from? The 3-piece, 4-piece!
There's no way.
A Sheriff ace to save NRG's day. We'll have to come down to it. Him versus Net.
No way.
Picked up the rifle. It's an upgrade with the weaponry, but he doesn't know where Net is lying in wait, and one shot to the body will do him in just from that Sheriff. He has to get a bit of a move on with the footsteps. Net knows exactly where he's playing, and he spoils the party for Scuba, the chance for redemption.
And it's small laughs of relief there, I think, for C9, because IMI would have had their heads on a spike for that one.
See this? That's disgusting.
These are nasty shots.
Oh.
Net, though, a pillar for his team to rely on. This playoffs, Net has stepped up so much. And IMI is thanking all of the gods he can remember the names of.
Scuba, one away off the back of those plays to an ult of his own. Lockdown could be nice for some retakes. A lot of bullets flying forwards here, stray shots.
It's a very nice C-sided default from Cloud9, breaking that turret early. The turret normally gives this kind of composition a ton of information over towards Garage and Long. Just think about the way that Mitch is calling on the attack side here. You're trying to push people off their aggressive lines, deny them information. And that was something that Ethan was really struggling with in the first half.
Nada pushed away from short, goes to the repeat as well, gets a bit more information.
A lot of info. So now, triple stacking on A.
Notices that group up, calling for reinforcement. Scuba not far behind.
Normally the defense side calling for NRG is pretty immaculate. And their ability to anchor sites is fantastic too.
This Util flying overhead though is going to be signaling the advance. Forwards is where Cloud9 want to move and go. It's going to be a stun ricocheting against that one though. The Thorns not too sure what the intended location was, but preventing a bit of a flood in. The dart pulled out. Cloud9 playing it slowly. Tempered, trying to pull that Util out. Shock darts forwards, but they're contacting up, and this is a fight. Could be a bloodbath lying in. Wait, slide to the side. Oxy sets his team up. Flash alongside him, and no one really anticipating this angle. Still, NRG trying to put up that defense, but Brook has been dealt with, and Som just slides his way back into the fight. He's got to wait for his IGL. He's got to wait for Ethan to regroup up. Trying to take this one together. Cloud9 trying to get one step ahead. Shots fired, damage done! And straight from the top ropes, Ethan lays claim to Zeppa's life.
It's an important one. It's a necessary one for NRG to put on the board. They had no hope on Haven had they lost this round. And yet C9 still put a ton of pressure onto them. The little pop flash for Oxy to dive in. And I think they made it really difficult for NRG to get the read on when they were going to hit the site. You know, they throw out a bunch of utility early on that makes it look like you're going for it. And then they almost contact in. Brock has to throw out a recon just in case they're contacting. And then in the end, they still just have one more little piece of util, that pop flash to go with. I think C9 have come into this game extremely prepared. I've loved what they've brought so far on Haven. Looks like they were expecting this map.
It's a power away from the link just to make it feel like it's a lot of pressure into A lobby.
Yeah, the timing on it is actually quite nice as well, because this Viper wall is almost down by the time you get the recon info. Mada, though, is alone on A. They're playing A for retake with Scuba's ultimate. I think the mid should be able to read into this. NRG were trying to fake like they were fighting over it, but now the closer and the deeper the Cloud9 get down short and long, they're going to realize that this is an A retake setup with lockdown.
Net was just going fishing there, looking for an alarm bot kill in through mid, denying a bit of information from NRG, but he missed it.
They might not have the read. I mean, they pinged out the turret, so they know the turret is there. Are they just going to fake garage and go back in that direction? Seems not. I feel like Mitch at the moment has got to know what the defensive setup looks like.
Smoking the turret, hold on. And that's pulling players away as well. B. They're strong because of it. Moving forwards now, Cloud9. not shy with the engagements. They want to take it forwards fast and hard now with that stun, potentially to lay claims to even more space here. Players out towards the back, just sidestep and tip-tap there with a rifle. Oxy, it's online with it. It's a wall into their faces to try and slow the approach, and that response of NRG is an attempt of it! Vic will just stop them in their tracks. All being picked apart now. It's up to Mada and Ethan. See what they can do. The smoke gets Ethan into a prime position, but there it is, not expected. Still that return of the fire is there. It's equalized by Oxy. Mada now, slow start to this map. Do it in a 1v3. No real knowledge of where these players might lie. It's even planning for Link as well. This is going to be second guessing the positioning. Expecting him to be playing right where he's looking, but all lying in wait onto the side and not even able to escape with his life. The 11th round now for Cloud9.
That is a 5D chess kind of round from Mitch. That is so sick. I was worried that they were going to overcook it. I thought they burnt the meal, but they realized that they're playing an A retake setup, so they smoked the turret to try to pull players off B to go and worry about A, worry about a contact play on A, because that would be the normal thing to go for, but it's a fake contact A play into a B pop.
That's
and then
insane.
they fight for the A connector. It really is like, maybe even overly complicated, frankly, but it worked out a treat.
It's one of those plays that only works when you're expecting the right reaction, but Oxy now straight forwards again. That wall's going to be stunted and stopped. Ethan just sent flying forwards with the paranoia. Cloud9 being good at just trying to pull a bit of that util out of NRG. Pump fake. No real presence across the rest of the map here. Cloud9 were very much all in on C.
Yeah, and this feels like one of those rounds where Ethan re-hit back into the half-buy, right? And instead, Mitch has taken his team on a little bit of a journey. Maybe to rotate, or maybe just to apply pressure and push people off the lines, because Mada right now is letting the rest of his team stack C.
All the info. Drone tag down into mid. Now 9. Drifting back over towards C, like that is the site they want to take it towards. Trailblazer broken, a lot of util also gone. Walking up though, makes it feel like it could be multiple different things going on, but NRG might be ready for it. Som cutting it up close to the corner. There's a smoke that blooms, blossoms. He's playing inside of it! Just with that stinger, close quarters only to 1. It is traded, and Oxy's round and towards the side. It's clean as anything with the movement. And he's laying claim to the lives with Scuba. He's still here. Not to be denied his spot towards the back. Zephyr does clean him up though. Now left to the 1v1, him versus Mada, and Mada in through the back. Thorns lay it out. Time is of the essence. 12 seconds remaining. Oh my! What is that?
Sick flick from Zephyr. Takes Cloud9 up to map point on NRG's pick. He's been an absolute monster the last 2 matches that he's played against NRG. And now he's 18 and 12. The only player above him, Oxy, who'd yet to have an insane map in playoffs, but this is it. That is a flick and a half. And he's so calm at the end there. Net isn't, of course. He's on his feet, adding the energy as always. 7 rounds required in a row. You need the C and C9 to stand for choke right now if you're an NRG fan.
And they haven't been playing towards that narrative or playoffs long.
No. No, not once.
It's a new Cloud9 here. Looking for that right to represent Americas on the big stage, the biggest one of the year. 1 round, take that first step. That's all it takes for Cloud9 now. Now making a move towards it. Ned has already just popped the header. Som. The flank presence that is there. Ethan, though, that's straight through the smoke. Hold on, no, I think Vic actually TP'd up towards Heaven. These players are trying to contest this. And Mada's off onto the flank. He's being hunted out, sniffed out here. All the util at his disposal being offloaded! But oh my, okay, not grounded with electricity. Still, it is cleaned up in the end. Scuba now looking forward to this one, playing it patiently as anything, and that is picture perfect! They play right into his hands.
Great patience there with the map on the line. Perfect patience, and now Zephyr with more of a task even than he had in the prior round. Still Garden to play with, but only 30 seconds. The clock is going to be his worst enemy here. There's just way too many corners to try to clear.
How fast NRG are slipping through onto the flank.
They might just be a little too slow, though.
Back's open towards them. They're going to take the shot any minute now. 14 seconds, though. Time's getting away from Zeppa here. He's got to make a decision right now. There's so much to clear, so much to anticipate. 5 seconds left, but this is it. Surely, there it is. NRG, get that 6. 1 round at a time is what it's going to have to be. And listen, hell of a task, but they got resilient to themselves.
Yeah, a ridiculous task. I mean, it's a map that they're great at in terms of the defense side, but 6 in a row on top of this one, which, you know, came down to the wire with Scuba having to hold his nerve there in Garage.
Hey, they call us the Iron Egg for a reason, bro.
They're going to need a lot more of that. C9 on a half buy. Lots of ults coming up as well. You know, as long as you don't waste them on a round like this, C9 eventually you're going to have an ult advantage. Mata is sending it!
You're just taking it to them. Mata takes out and deletes 2 of them. The snake bite as well, but that vulnerable applies, and the damage done. A quick cleanup from NRG, but a risky business play. Offloaded Vic straight through it. Tagged up though. Gives the perfect timing for Brook to make sure he can deal with them. Ethan's out wide into the open. Able to escape those bullets. Zeppa, 20 and 13. Make it 14.
Yeah, not offered an opportunity there whatsoever. NRG turn up the tempo enormously. But they also use a Hunter's Fury, and now a lot of the game comes down to ults. Because at some point in this run of 7 rounds in a row that NRG have to put together, they will be at an ult disadvantage. And then how on earth do you win that round? When C9 can just rip every ult they have at their disposal, you're going to need either an individual to step up massively or some kind of incredible plan to avoid what's happening. And this could be the round.
Flash forwards, that's supplementary with the spam. Brook is just holding that angle down, and he's caught Oxy.
And that's amazing, because if you can get your team into a 5v4 instantly on a round where C9 want to use the ults, want to close the game, well now, he's going to give Mitch a serious question.
Man, I need some help here. Stunned up here by the Trailblazer. That's going to be clearing out that short angle. Here it is, Steel Garden. Overdrive was being saved, though, for a moment like this here with the Seekers. See if they can carve out a path. Cloud9 calling for the pause, but now that Utah flies forwards and that Paranoia in all. Still the guns are back. The time to strike is gone. And NRG are ready. All 5 players grouped up here onto this A site, ready to defend.
Disaster round. Unless they can salvage it somehow in a 3v5. And the rest of the map is open. B, Garage, C. Nobody home there for the defenders. So definitely some opportunities for C9 to get into dangerous positions. But so far, very rough. Because, like I've been talking about, they also use 2 massive ults. That's not a great smoke as far... Oh, no, it should be fine, actually, in Garage. But what you're looking for here is one of the C9 players to decide an area of the map that they want to fight over or get into an aggressive spot. A corner that NRG won't think to clear.
Guns around here. Mata wants that rifle to take point for the rest of the team. You are right, the aggro play.
The late backstab.
He is. Aggro play is going to be almost anticipated here by NRG, ready for a fight to be taken forwards. Deep hold by Ethan. Gets info that they're playing this tight towards the side here, but that TP forwards! No push off the back of this one. Thorns as well. Slows down any attempt of return on that fire. And it comes down to this slide and glide straight into the fight and the fray. Mata delivering death and helping his team get right to business.
But man, they had no time to work with there. NRG playing things right to the wire. A second and a half making the difference, and Ethan trying to accelerate faster than his team could because of the Thorns. That was worrying. An attempt at a really disciplined approach in this round. End of the day, though, that is 3 in a row for NRG, and they've knocked Cloud9's economy. They've forced out 2 big ults from them. This is the route to victory for NRG. If there was any way back in, that was the round that could be the tipping point. Because it's going to, I mean, the rest of the game, they're not going to have another Steel Garden, another Seekers. Yeah. Unless Mitch and Zeppa pop off. In which case, they won the round anyway.
Mata on the op line. Just a pixel to work with, but the smoke in his face is going to be denying him a lot of that info.
He's trying to jump spot.
He's going to hear the sheriffs now, though. He knows exactly where the C9 players are going to be lying.
But these smokes are doing a great job at denying NRG information. Mata, though, gets posted back up immediately onto the C line. Very confident. And Ethan going for a little bit of info towards A long as Garage is pressured.
Trailblazer forwards immediately taken out. Snake bite. Just tickling the feet of these players, so won't be able to clear and claim much of that space, but they do just brute force it in the end anyway. Cloud9 not without their prizes, just trying to hide the intent of where they could be landing on the map right now.
Rourke was thinking about leaving A, thinking about leaving it up to Ethan, and Ethan just telling him to remain in position for another moment.
Slight jiggle. Ethan looking for that info, he hears it now with the footsteps. Jump spot forwards. Can see acknowledgement he was looking for. There's 30 seconds left to play within this one, so
30 seconds
stack
left.
towards here. NRG going to be getting some bodies involved. Looking to put the fight and the hurt down onto this Cloud9 team. Paranoia is excellent. And laying them down now with that suppressive fire. He's got help and he's got backup.
One enemy remaining.
The weaponry differential.
It is done.
NRG up to 9.
Three rounds in it, over halfway to making this comeback a reality. But at any point, if NRG give Cloud9 a free sight, there's going to just be a pit in the postman, and it's curtains.
No more.
So there's so much pressure and tension on these NRG players to get the right read on defense and make sure that they deny a plant from coming down in the first place. If you ever get the read wrong, ever play a site for retake, you're cooked.
Cloud9, they just need that one. Anything to get them over the line. Walls and smokes in your face, though. Slowing it down, that C pressure there. Leaving Oxy as a bit of an insert. TP's going to be dealt with, broken out. So many ults. The Viper's Pit billows out. It's going to be making it mightily difficult to try and get through this A site.
And I think he needed to use that ult in order to fill the gap over towards A. Because like I'm saying, you really cannot play any of these sites for retake when Net has his ult online. Looks like this one's going to end in a B pop. Although Oxy is on the other side of the map, so it might be an idea to keep your eye on that too.
Be a bit of a backstab play occurring here, but that Nana Swarm.
Remember, NRG have to play to deny that plant on B. Or at least deny the pit.
Barely alive, just gets the hell out of there. There's 50 seconds left to play with.
The B fake back into using Oxy on a C split. Nice call in again from Mitch.
It's a long con. Leaving him inserted, looking for the right play here. Mada, he's out wide into the open, just safe there from the movement. Clean as anything, the wall up as well, trying to help his team get all the way back in. Mada just lays him down, at least with that pistol, picks up the rifle, and he's right back up there. Not to be denied.
Mada, the guy with the most aces, puts another one on the board again. How on earth? I mean, that one is remarkable, man. He missed the first two right clicks, had to steal a rifle. Oh. Insane spray control from Net onto Mitch, and the sliding kill on Vic. What op crutch?
Oh my god! Yeah, that's nice.
Literally, what op crutch?
That is nice. For the iBuyPower ace. Hashtag unlock your ace. Plenty of prizes to be given out on the socials, but that has caused an immediate reaction from Cloud9.
Yeah.
Hit the panic button.
Because there's been two massive rounds here, right? There was the round where they lost Oxy immediately and they still decided to invest the Steel Garden and the Seekers. I think that was just a mistake in the calling from Mitch. I think, all right, you're in a 4v5, just cut your losses, save your ults for a future round. Like, that is how you close out games. So there's a bit of a mistake. This one, they were trying to get into a position where they could actually take a site and get the pit down. And I think NRG just worked the map beautifully. Pit down over towards A and Som controls that space. Flood defending over towards B and never allowing that to become an issue. And then Mada goes nuclear over on the C site.
That's one way to get your confidence right back up.
But remember, they still have this pit in the back pocket. Cloud9 are not lost until that pit is used and wasted. Until that happens, C9 could even win a light round like this. Triple Stinger and a Judge would be a nightmare in a pit.
All the way forwards onto C.
NRG cannot at any point leave their foot off the gas.
There are no players waiting to reinforce this one. Ethan will be alone. Dart, flash, all going to be used overhead here. Wall to get them all the way in. That stun connects. Ethan trying to drift backwards, but he's right into the fight.
And this should be it.
Exactly where Oxy needed to take it now. This Viper's Pit is lying in wait, ready and waiting, and finally let loose in through the back. CT blocked off entirely. The danger zone. One of the worst case scenarios for NRG. All that good work. You have to sidestep it. There's no way you can take the fight into it. The Odin in the hands of Mada. NRG have got to get a move on here. Plays need to be made. They're putting the squeeze on through Garage and the flank, but the wall just cuts Som out into the picture. Time is being bled out of the clock. Cloud9, they know it's a major win con. Ingrained into the site. Deep-seated positions, in through the wall, and Vix found that timing! But not the weapon at hand, not the right one at all. The dart, Oxy, forward to the shotgun! He's made the mincemeat! There's no time! And the time has just run short!
Cloud9 again avoid the choking allegations. They were up massive, but in the end they close it out. It ends up being a 3-round game, but C9 knew their win condition was getting that pit up. And off the back of an Oxy entry, Net secures. The two danger players for Cloud9 every time they go up against NRG, Oxy and Zeppa come up massive. Everything they needed here. An interesting composition that throws off NRG's prep. More proactive defense. Big games from their, players that need to step up, like Oxy Zeppa.
Surgence in form from